What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode 163 of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast. If you enjoy this episode, please like, subscribe, follow, and share the link with your friends. Honestly, can you do me a favor and just share the episode with two friends, get them to listen to it, and then chat about it with them. If you'd like to get our curriculum, you can get the paperback or ebook of From Ashes to Destiny on Amazon. When we come back, we'll get into this episode entitled, Choose Wisely, Forgive Yourself. Welcome back to episode 163 of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast entitled, Choose Wisely, Forgive Yourself. I'd like to start this episode by quoting Dr. Fred Luskin, a psychologist who's the director of Stanford University Forgiveness Project, and I'm using an article that appeared in Prevention Magazine online. Dr. Luskin said, and I quote, "Forgiveness is a tool with which we face what we've done in the past, acknowledge our mistakes, and move on. It does not mean that you condone or excuse what happened. It does not mean that you forget. There's a reason for our suffering and regret. We have to have that. But the season ends, the world moves on, and we need to move on with it." So you ready as we get started here? As we choose wisely and forgive ourselves, we acknowledge what we've done in the past by facing it head on, acknowledging our mistakes, and getting ready to move on. That we can say our season of suffering and regret is over, and it's time to move forward. But what choices that we've made keep us from being able to move on? I'd like to look at a few topics here. The first one, I'm going to use a quote from Temet Ope Ibrahim. And the author wrote, and I quote, "Every time we choose our past over our present, we kill our future." That's so true. Often we hold on to the past, even though the people from our past have let go a long, long time ago. And we just keep reliving the things that we did wrong in the past. We keep living in that shame and regret and that suffering that we bring onto ourselves. And we have to reach the point where we're ready to let go of that. We have to choose our present over our past so that we stop killing our future. And from the Chicago PD show, Sergeant Boyd said, and I want to quote from one of the episodes, "You know it is okay to let go if you're the only one fighting. It doesn't mean you don't love him. It just means you love you too." That's actually pretty deep. Are you holding on to the past and bringing suffering and regret on yourself for someone that you're still trying to prove that you love, but you're suffering to the point that you don't even love yourself? So can you choose wisely today to choose your present situation, to acknowledge that you chose to let go of those people who have chosen to move on without you, to stop fighting to get others to change and choose to love yourself? I think that's a great challenge for all of us to get to that point of choosing to let go of those people who have chosen to move on without you. The second area I'd like to look at is stop trying to outrun your past. Some of you stay caught up and not being able to move on because you're actually just running away from your past. And when we choose to move on, it's not the beginning of a race to outrun our past. It's not choosing wisely simply to run away from our past like it never happened. It's impossible to ignore the pain of the consequences from our past behaviors and choices. But once we process this pain, We can choose to forget the memories that we can't outrun. Keith Carradine sang part of a song in an episode of the TV show Accused, and I want to quote some of the lyrics. He said, "Every day keeps falling faster than the last. I still can't run faster than my past. Still haunted by those memories, rack each day with regrets. So I'll just keep remembering to forget." Can you reach that point where you remember to forget, where you choose to forget the memories that you can't outrun, no matter how fast you run, no matter how far you run? You know those memories are going to keep haunting you until you choose to forget. So what I'm saying in this second point is, stop trying to outrun your past. Face it, embrace it, and then choose to forget. And that leads us to our third point for today, which is embrace your pain of the consequences of your past actions as a gift and not a curse. And here I'd like to quote from a friend of mine that I'll call Tom. And he wrote me this week and said, "Dave, I'm realizing that in the mercy, wisdom, and compassion of God, pain itself is redeemed into a gift to be received with joy. I know it wasn't plan A. It wasn't intentional before the foundations of the world, so to speak. But even though the pain, God gives it as a gift as opposed to a punishment. And when received as a gift, it doesn't disregard the pain, but it gives pain a deeply divine and redemptive purpose, and the kingdom moves forward." Wow. Deep message there from Tom. And I want to ask each of you, are you ready to choose wisely, to embrace your pain as a gift, and seek and find growth and purpose in the midst of your pain? Stop holding on to your pain as punishment, which only keeps you caught up in depression and suffering, and maybe even thoughts of revenge or thoughts of blaming other people. Look for the gift in the midst of the pain and find growth and purpose in that same place. The fourth topic for today, as reasons why we fail to choose wisely, is that I think we need to recognize that life is not stagnant. It keeps changing. People keep changing. The world keeps changing. But we've remained stagnant because of our guilt or shame or suffering from the past. And motivational speaker Naja Roberts said, and I quote, "Life is changing. Your growth is optional. Hurry up and choose wisely." I want to say that again because I love that hurry up. Life is changing. Your growth is optional. Hurry up and choose wisely. You see, because life keeps changing, every day that you choose to stay stuck is an unwise choice. And I believe Naja Roberts said, hurry up and choose wisely, because she realized how so many of us stay stuck in the past. And the time is now, today, to ask yourself some questions in this regard. What have you learned from your mistakes? What changes must you make because of your past mistakes in order to begin positive growth? And if you've already begun the process, how have you grown into a better you? I want to challenge you to start capturing these thoughts and write them down and see the progress that you have made. And to begin to set your sights on choosing wisely every day to forgive yourself. In closing, author Brittany Burgunder wrote, and I quote, "Forgiving yourself, believing in yourself, and choosing to love yourself are the best gifts one could receive." Shaw, I feel that summarized this episode perfectly. Choose wisely. Forgive yourself. Believe in yourself. And choose to love yourself. And you'll find you've opened up a great gift into your present situations and your future. Thanks for listening to this episode of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast. If you would like to join an online group or get one-on-one counseling to help you choose wisely and forgive yourself, please message me on the link in this podcast or by email at davidfromatod@gmail.com or go to my website www.fromatod.org and click on the contact page. You can keep in touch with what we're doing in From A to D by following me on Instagram at davidfromatod. For our Spotify listeners, you can leave your comments by clicking on the link they provide in that platform. Tune in Monday for our next episode, and as always, stay safe and stay strong.